Ba 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 ba. Get your manicure nails.
Oh, I know. I actually need to. They look terrible, actually, homie. You know how they say that if you're lesbian and they tell you to look at your nails? If you're a lesbian, you look at them like this, and if you're straight, you just do it with your hands straight.
That's what I just did.
I know, I noticed, but I was as I was telling you the story, I noticed that you're all lady like, oh, look at my nails, and I'm like, look at them, but look at these paws.
Look at these paws.
Oh, homie, I was gonna tell you. You were telling me a story about when someone is looking at someone because they think they have the answers. I was working somewhere years ago, and somebody had a question of they wanted to know where to find shoes, high heels for men, that their size. So essentially, like a high heel that's a size like 9, 10, 11, and they're like, oh, where the drag queens get them. And they all turned to me like I had the answers and shit. Oh my god.
Do I look all the drag? You're friends with drag queens.
Like I know where the drag queens shop and shit.
You're a friend with the alphabet people.
Yeah, but I don't know where the shop is shit. Like I had the stupidest question. I felt so dumb the other day. I asked my friend. I don't know if I should even say this. I sound so dumb, bro. But I'm like, dude, these two gay guys, and they're getting married, and I'm like, do they, because they do drag, and I'm like, do they get married with drag? And they're like, no, they just do that like a hobby. I'm like, oh, I felt so stupid. I should know, but I don't know why I thought if it's a form of like they like the way they look, they feel they look good, right? Like I don't know. So I just thought maybe, like for example, military people get married in their military. Sometimes some women don't. Some women get like a wedding dress. I don't know. This is boring as shit.
No, I understand. I understand what you're saying.
But anyway, let's get this shit started, I guess. Testing, 1 2 1 2, test 1 2. ¿Qué onda, wey? We are the Bodega Cats. It's a lit way, and I don't know what the fuck we're doing, but for some reason, Larissa and I should be the ones to start it. I thought I am 54 peaches.
And I'm Larissa. Hey.
So, a couple weeks ago, Larissa and I were watching, we had movie night, and we were watching that King Kong Godzilla movie. And Larissa and I must have been like super vulnerable and lonely and shit, because, well, I was going through some shit. The fucking COVID vaccine felt like a mild type of ecstasy type of shit. I just wanted to touch my body. It was fucking weird. I told Larissa, imagine getting addicted to the COVID vaccine. That shit felt nice. God. I almost didn't want to say it, but it was a good feeling for me.
You know what? I got it last week, and I just smoked a lot, and so I had a fever that night.
You got a fever?
And a little bit of, you know how like when your stomach feels like when it's hungry, but you just ate, but it has that feeling in your stomach, like a, can't even describe it, like an achy.
That's how it feels in the morning for me when I drink a little too much the night before.
Oh, okay.
Like I'm hungry, but I'm not. It's just, something's not right with my stomach.
But then I was fine. But then I developed my lymph nodes on my collarbone near my neck. It got inflamed. But now it's fine. I can't really feel it.
It's kind of crazy, like the anti-vaxxers, I know. How do you tell them when it's like we're all having, Max Kellerman from First Take on ESPN.
Oh yeah.
His side effect, he lost his voice.
Oh yeah.
That's
Okay. I was like,
crazy.
I remember you texted me that, and I was like,
Oh, did I? Oh,
I'm
I
like,
told you.
he lost his voice like completely.
Yeah.
Like he couldn't talk, or
Yeah. He
like
came back eventually,
oh,
but
so it was hoarse, or
he just couldn't talk. He lost his voice.
That's
It's weird, you know, but I haven't heard of that side effect.
then the Johnson.
The Johnson.
The Johnson.
That's why I stay away from the Johnson.
That's
what she said. That's what she said.
Just kidding. No, it's not a laughable manner. Actually, that shit's scary.
But just Johnson without that Johnson and Johnson.
Johnson and Johnson double.
That's not funny, but
double Richard.
Johnson by itself.
You know, Johnson and Johnson had like the one, you know,
the one
which
timer.
is like ironic, with the double name, because I got the Michelle Pfeiffer one, and, you know.
And I got the modern one.
Someone said on a podcast, Moderna sounded like an older black woman that makes pancakes.
What?
Miss Moderna, can
Miss
I have
Moderna.
some more? Oh my lord.
Lordy.
So stupid.
Mercy.
Anyway, but we were watching King Kong and Godzilla, and Laurie's like, look at King Kong's gentle eyes. And she's look at Godzilla's thighs. I was like, these two fucking old bitches, one high of the COVID vaccine touching herself, her body and shit, and the other one horny for Godzilla and King Kong. With Godzilla's eyes and King Kong's eyes.
Oh,
Ooh,
Godzilla's
mama.
eyes were red and like not like you could tell he was like the evil villain. And then there's King Kong with his little sultry eyes, his brown sultry eyes.
King Kong had the look of like the nice guy that never gets the girl, but you know he's the good one. He's the nice guy.
Yeah, and the little girl. She's from Georgia.
Well, we don't support Georgia right now.
Well, I don't support the conservative shit in the voting suppression.
Voter suppression is wrong. That's why we got a podcast.
I was mesmerized by it.
And on the third day, God created the rifle so he can shoot all the homosexuals.
Oh my god.
Just kidding.
Oh, no!
Just kidding. I was telling Laurisi,
Billy Bob.
there's all these like shows and podcasts and things of like where they keep the ratchet content on different platforms or different, and I'm like, oh, we should have done that shit. Too ratchet.
Too ratchet.
Oh man, but anyway, so I came across an article that caught my attention. It was called, the title was Post-Pandemic Separation Anxiety. So apparently the couples that do love each other and were happy to spend, you know, the pandemic with their significant other cooped up in the house are having issues right now because they don't want to separate. They're having separation anxiety and shit. So it's almost like when I was starting to read the article, and first I was like, oh, this is interesting to talk about it in the podcast, and then I was like, haha, fuckers. That's what you get, assholes. We suffer being alone, now you suffer separating.
So I have this really good friend that she stopped drinking and she lost all this weight
During the pandemic?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
And she's like, I'm so skinny now, I can't even wear my jeans. And I'm like, whatever. I was all jealous. Like, that's good. She's like, well, I think I should start drinking beer so I'm not so thin. I'm like,
oh god,
don't be stupid. I told her, stupido.
Maurice.
Estúpido.
Oh my lord.
I mean, all she complained about when she drank was that she's needs to stop drinking, so so she can be healthy or whatever. I'm like, okay, and now she's thinner and she like is healthy. I'm like, what do you want, lady? So
Maybe she's not happy.
I don't think she is. I think she's just paranoid. I hope she's not listening.
Anyway,
I'm talking crap.
we're talking about a soap opera. Like I told you, this may or may not be true, but I have a story.
I didn't mention any names.
I feel like I was thinking if I had a porn story today.
A porn story?
You know how I always have my porn stories? Like they always start with, so I was watching porn. But I don't have one this time.
Bummer.
I know. I need to get on it, man. Get back on.
You know what? I'm so sad I can't even watch porn.
For real?
Yeah, it's just like...
You're like, I always think of myself. I don't know if you've seen Mulholland Drive, but there's a scene when Naomi Watts is like just devastated because all the shit that happened, and she's masturbating and she's all crying. That's how I masturbate sad, bro.
Oh, God. Maybe I should have did the MB.
What's that?
MB. Masturbate. MB. Short for MB.
Masturbate's one word,
Well,
Masturbate. Remember, you're the masturbator.
If you don't want to say it.
The Lord of the Hand. Lord.
Lord of the Hand.
Lord.
My hand
Lord
did.
Beater.
I was sleeping on my shoulder, and I turned over, and it was numb because I was sleeping on it, and I felt like, oh, maybe I should do it now, because then I'll feel like somebody
like I told you.
else is
Did you try?
it.
And then sometimes it's funny because you can't even place it.
I know. I was like, I know. I was like, and the cat's been scratching me.
Bro, I do have a porn story.
Oh shit!
Thinking about that, I don't know if you ever seen the porns where the guys are making the girls squirt, and I would say 7 out of the 10 times they were making them squirt by this motion, like fucking like fast on the fucking clit and shit. Either there's some trick that I don't know that these women, because all of a sudden, I'm like, what? Who?
Like they're starting a fire.
It's like, it seems like that. Like they're about to start a fire on that bitch's pussy, and that doesn't look like it. Like, it's gonna feel good, or it feels good, but hey, the girls over there all fucking like, so that I'm always
the
like
friction.
It must be some trick that I haven't learned, that but you're gonna have me
experiment on.
The videos that you're gonna get. Speaking about, hey, I got another email. Whenever you go into a thing that you can't remember your password and you hit forget your password and you do the link, they send you a link or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I did that for something and I couldn't find it, the email. So I went to the junk folder, the trash folder, and I found it, but underneath, it's the pulp of the pineapple.
But like, you gave me dirty glass. Thought these were clean.
They're brand new. They just came in the mail and shit. Full of crud. But what was I saying, bro? Oh, that's been happening to me too. I'm gonna blame it on the vaccine. It's even worse. I'm telling the story and I forget. I don't know what the fuck I was saying. Something about porn. I don't know. Anyway.
The friction, squirting.
I don't know, but anyway, fuck the people that are getting separation anxiety. I have.
Fuck that.
Oh, I saw. There was this thing. It's not really like entertaining or anything, but the guy from Cyborg from the Justice League,
Uh-huh.
I guess he was talking about Joss Whedon, the pervert that did the original cut. How he was just inappropriate and set, and just things like that, and like kind of racist and all this shit that happened. Remember one of the first things that I told you, that the Snyder's cut, pretty much the movie is about Cyborg, and the original one is not. You barely see him. The reason being is because he got mad, that Josh Whedon got mad, so he cut his scenes.
Damn.
And then I guess there was another movie, The Flash. They were making The Flash, and he was gonna have a big part of it. And he recorded for 2 weeks. He filmed for 2 weeks, and then again, like, I guess Homeboy got mad, and they cut his part to like 1 or 2 scenes and shit. So he was just talking about it, and people were like, he was trending, just that, that sucked that happened to him. He's a black actor, and he's a really good actor, or whatever. Like, we're talking about it, but I'm just like, well, all kinds of shit happened because of this, dude. Anyway, it's boring or whatever. I just thought that it was interesting. But speaking about that, did you see that the Game of Thrones Twitter account tweeted winter is coming a couple days ago? So
I haven't been on Twitter.
I started rewatching it. I'm on season 5 right now. And so it's weird because everybody started getting upset, and they started tweeting back if, the Snyder Cut was able to be released and fixed and everything, you can fix season 8. They kept telling them. So I don't know what that means, if they are really going to release maybe a different ending or something. But that's fucking cool, bro. Like, why would they tweet that shit? Everybody was mad about it. I don't see why being mad,
Excuse me. Got a tickle in my throat. You have some soda. Yeah, I do have like kind of a review.
Oh. In our next segment, Larisi reviews an article of, or what are you reviewing? A show?
A show. One of my shows. The waiter doesn't care. Doesn't need to know your name.
Is that the name of the show?
No.
Oh.
No, it's called...
That's your tip?
It's called COVID Diaries on HBO Max. And it just shows different filmmakers and people in New York, like in different boroughs. Like, like Westchester. And they said there were like 3 different like people, and they were all essential workers. Well, this one guy, he was a delivery guy on his bike. Because I guess you don't have to drive in New York, so you just...
But what's the point of this?
Anyways, they talk about during the pandemic, like when it was happening, they just videotape this family. This one person was a teacher, and she was virtually doing on the online, and then I guess her husband was a food server, or in the food service industry, and he lost his job, and so they didn't have any money, and it was like their rent was like $2,000 for just this tiny little apartment, and then it had this younger guy, he's delivery guy, and he lived with his grandmother, and his grandmother was the super of the room, and what they were doing is basically taking the trash of all the rich people down, because it's a high-rise apartment. They took the trash from all these rich people that won't go and take their trash out themselves.
Like my neighbor.
I'm like, shit. And then it shows he's like, I gotta get out of this apartment. And so he went out, and this guy like almost punched him because they weren't wearing masks, but he's like, I had to get out. And then they're like, you're gonna kill your grandma. And he came back and he's like, Grandma, I don't want to kill you. I feel really bad because that man said we're gonna kill my grandma. And then there was this other woman. She was a young filmmaker, or no, maybe it wasn't the filmmaker, but it was just the story about she was a student and she like did online, but her dad worked for the post office, and it showed him getting sick, and he was coughing, and so he had to quarantine in the room. What's wrong?
Nothing, bro.
He had to quarantine in the room, and all you could hear was him coughing. And the mom went and brought him like food, and then she would leave, and all you could hear was him coughing. And
did he die?
No, he just was sick. But he worked for the post office, and he was saying the post office, like, it was really weird because they got different information. Like, you can't get sick from delivering the mail, blah blah blah. But he got sick, and he wore his mask and everything. So, anyways, it was interesting because remember we talked about a diary or well, this is our proof because we talked all during the quarantine where we were stuck in our houses and we had to Zoom.
Like our record?
Yeah. But I was thinking about just writing, like, all the stuff that happened during, COVID. And I mean, I guess we're still in quarantine.
I was gonna say, like, that show that you were talking about, isn't it a little too soon for that? Like, I feel like we're still living this shit, and that just caused me anxiety to listen to all that stuff you were telling me.
Oh,
because we're not past that shit. Remember we were talking the other day? Someone said just because you get the COVID vaccine doesn't mean you're immune.
Well,
that shit's scary to hear.
Some states have lifted the mask restrictions. I'm like, why?
A while back.
Like, what harm is there wearing a mask and just having mandated for a little bit longer? Because not everyone's had the vaccine, and it's still not, like, totally safe. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I don't know, homie. I won't be watching that show. It's too much. It's too close to home right now. I have I'm having anxiety of, like, some days I feel like I have to be out there now because I have no motivation. I find it hard to concentrate. And then other times I'm like, no, I'm not ready to be out there and shit, scared. So I'm having a different type of anxiety now that's, I'm not about to trigger myself.
The cases are going up.
Really?
And they've shut down, like, some schools.
Mm-hmm.
So
that I know. They shut down a high school here.
Was it El Dorado or
something? So.
And I think Chaparral Elementary was on the news, and they were saying from a source that there were some teachers not wearing a mask. So.
That's crazy, bro. You would.
I can understand, like, some of the younger kids, because they have disability or something.
That is rough.
But that's like having a 2-year-old wear a mask, like,
But I thought that was supposed to be 3 and up.
I know, but I'm just saying. Can you imagine?
No.
Well, like at daycare centers, or
I think
even
they
infants.
have to have like actual masks. See if they would put them on. You know what I mean? Like a Disney princess mask or something.
Infants don't wear masks.
No,
right?
but they
or
say
babies.
that kids are getting sick right now, not dying, but they're getting,
Yikers.
yeah. So I was thinking the other day I was gonna erase the COVID, and I was like, oh, we need new designs and shit, especially because Biden and Kamala, are not coming through. But anyway, I was like, nah, we're not done, bro. We're not done with this shit, and I know it's gonna be something that we're gonna have to deal with for a long time. Getting vaccinated,
yeah, we're gonna have to wear
and wearing probably a mask. I think it's gonna become like you'll be like that. Oh, you're one of those people that wear masks, and you, the mask person, will be like, oh, you're one of those that are careless and shit. You know what I mean? That's what I'm thinking because, yeah, I don't see with all this, the stats and everything. And I know what is it like 96.9% sure assurance or whatever. I don't know, bro. I see myself. I was thinking like, oh, that's a waste of all these masks that I got. It's not because I'm not out at work yet. And if I do like, go to the grocery store one day, the next day I have to go pick up something. Another day I went to, I don't know, something, Excuse me. All of a sudden you're like, oh shit, I have to wash all these masks. And I don't have as many as I thought, So the Bodega Cats podcast mask that we have, I really like them, but they're not thick enough. They just seem like underwear material or something. So I thought I ordered me, it's just my paranoia and anxiety and shit. I ordered me more masks like 2 days ago.
They have that one that helps you. It's like
the N95 one that has like you look like a little duck.
Well, they have the clear mask that you put underneath, and then you put your cloth mask on, but it's supposed to like help you not fog up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do those really work?
It looked like they said it doesn't create like a fog with your like.
Because remember those things that I gave you? I sewed to some of my masks, and some angles it works, and in other situations I look up or down or something and it doesn't work. So I don't know if it works. But the Bodega Cats masks that we have, I like those because they stay on my face. They don't like my ears. I have tiny ears, so they don't, they hold on to them better. So I ordered me some black ones like those. I think they're going to be like it. I figure I put 2 of those together. It'll be better than,
Yeah. I think that's how I got this little blemish.
Because of the masks?
Because I've been wearing the mask.
Because you've been back at work and shit. That's it, homie. I remember hearing about the mask acne.
Yeah, and usually I don't get acne.
The mask, bro.
The mask.
The mask. Oh, man. So, Larisi and I, let's see, we're 28 minutes in. Larisi and I are going to do a challenge. Should we do it now?
Sure.
Let's see. I don't have a... Oh, I do have something to say. So, the other day, I came across another article that said something, it was called something like, I called off my wedding and the internet never forgot, or something like that. And the article was about this woman, she called off her wedding, but her algorithms don't get it. Because it was such a spontaneous, like, decision that's different from what she was doing in life. So the internet keeps treating her as if she's a married woman. With what the advertising, the stuff that they, you know what I'm talking about?
Oh.
So it made me, sorry, I have a, so it made me think, this happened not that, like, a little while ago, but I remember I mentioned it in the podcast, I think. I said it to you for sure, but it happened to me, like, a week ago. They sent me a fucking email, bro. It's not even a fucking notification on Instagram. A fucking email saying, hey, look at what so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so are doing on Instagram. two of those people, one of them I've worked with in the past. So I was like, all right, they connected me with so-and-so, weird. The other one was on one of my exes. And she has a new account. Because I was like, who the fuck is this? And I'm like, how dare you, Instagram? Like, why you send me that shit? What if I had feelings for this person and I'm getting emails, look at what so-and-so is doing. I don't want to see what she's doing, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but it reminded me of the article. Is like, does my algorithms not realize that we're not together anymore? You know what I'm saying? If everything that lady, like, so she called off her wedding because everything she's been doing on the internet has been like marriage, you know, wedding, like all this related type of deals. So when she called off her wedding, her algorithms don't show that shit. So so that's why I thought it was super interesting. But I was like, oh, so my algorithms don't know that I'm not with homegirl anymore. How do I let them know? This is an ex. I thought that shit was funny though, bro.
I think that's true with the algorithms. Because I've been looking at cars. Even on my TV, it's all like the Nissan.
Because your internet. The TVs are
And then
connected to your
when I
internet.
go on Instagram, it's like, do you want a new blah 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 Hyundai blah 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 blah, and then Facebook, every other ad or every other like feed is, and then you get like,
You know how many advertisements I get of hats, rings, and sweatpants, and Adidas shoes?
I get a lot of food because I look up recipes on the internet. So I get a lot of, well, on Instagram, I get followers from people like that are foodies because I post food on my, and then I hashtag foodie.
Oh, there you go.
So maybe it's the hashtag.
You know, I told
But I
you
didn't
that.
hashtag a car.
I told you that I was like trying to do this recipe from that HelloFresh situation that I was trying out. And I guess because I canceled the subscription, they sent me like a little pie or something. But I didn't know what it was. It
There's a
wasn't
little
intact
pie.
or anything. It was just like a little, it was fucking tiny, bro, like a tiny little thing. So the recipe called for like concentrated frozen mushroom stock or something like that. And some of the things doesn't have, like, it'll say stock or it'll have a picture of a mushroom or something. So it wasn't clear. Remember I told you it was idiot proof? Either I'm beyond an idiot or it's not idiot proof. Because I was like, okay. So I saw the little thingy and I'm like, this could potentially be a concentrated frozen mushroom stock. So I threw it in there and it wouldn't, in the pan, and it wouldn't like dissolve. So I had to like almost like just kind of like blend it in there. And this was a ravioli recipe that I was doing, like some pesto ravioli or something like that. Oh, fuck, bro. When I finished, it tasted like pure fucking cheesecake.
Oh, really?
So I think it was a cheesecake. It wasn't concentrated, nothing.
Oh, my God.
So they sent me probably a tiny little cheesecake.
There was no instructions, or?
Well, the instructions said to put the concentrated blah, blah, blah.
Oh.
But they send you most of the ingredients in a bag. And some of the stuff is outside the bag. So the thing was outside the bag, but I figured nowhere did they tell me, hey, we sent you a complimentary cheesecake or whatever that pie was. It was just this little fucking thing. So I was like, this must be the concentrated stock. So they send you 2 recipes in one package. So when I open the package, I try to separate them so I know what is what, right? In one of the recipes, later on when I cooked it, the last one, it didn't have stock. So I think there was like something that happened that must have been their error. But the pie was probably just like as a thank you, maybe because I canceled or something. But tell me you sent me a goddamn pie because I threw it in the recipe. I had to throw that shit. I try to wash the raviolis because the raviolis were so good, bro. I try to wash that shit. It tastes like brown sugar.
Brown sugar.
But anyway, bro, do you need a break or you good?
Oh, I have one more.
Tell me.
I was I was coming to your house, and on the radio they have this radio program. It's called a first date checkup or something. And what they do is people that go on a first date and they never hear from the person, either whatever.
Oh, like they got ghosted or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so this guy called and he's like, oh, the date was going good. And he took her on a picnic at a park and he did a chartreuse
Oh, yeah.
board.
I would have been
and-
impressed. I would have given him some pussy. Just kidding.
Well,
Maybe
he
just
said
enough.
everything went fine. And when he went in for the kiss, she backed away, like, and then she was all distant. So they called her and said, "Hey, why don't you ever call this guy back? Because he thought it went well and everything." And so she was kind of a bee,
Okay.
and she was like, "Well, he came in and he had the same perfume on that I have." And it turns out that it was on Tinder, I think. They were talking about perfume, like what perfume she wore, and that she really liked it. And I think it was a unisex perfume. And he thought, as a joke, that he would buy the perfume, spray it on, and then, as a joke, when they were intimate or whatever, he thought it was funny, like, "Oh, I have your perfume on." And so when they called
I don't
her,
know if it's funny, but it's something.
and she said, "Yeah, I liked the guy. He was funny. I really liked him. But then when I went in close, I smelled the perfume, and they said they had talked about it, and was wearing the perfume that I liked, and she's like, I just got turned off by that." And she was just like, "That's kind of creepy to me." And so he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I just thought it would be a funny thing to wear your perfume."
But did he bring it up during the day? Hey, I'm wearing your perfume? Or he didn't get a chance?
Well, she said, if you would have said, "Hey," but he didn't know why she was ghosting him.
But he didn't bring up the perfume? Like, because it's creepy unless it's a joke. If it's a joke, then
Yeah.
it's funny.
And
But did he bring it up and say, hey,
he didn't.
what is that smell? Or something?
She's like, when they called her, she's like, "Well, it was creepy." And then, I didn't know it was a joke, but he didn't know that that's what offended her or whatever it made. But actually, they went on a second date. And that this
After the situation?
Yeah, because he's like, "Oh, I didn't mean to offend you. I just thought it would be kind of funny." And I never got a chance to say, "Hey, I put your perfume on," as a joke kind of thing.
I don't see where he didn't have a moment to say it. Like, they went on a date. Like, he did that. It's such an elaborate joke that he needed to, like, fucking deliver.
And that's what she said. "I wish you would have just texted me that, hey, I
didn't get to make my joke," or something. I don't know.
like, "Oh,
Even if the date was going weird, because he says it went good. Even if the date was going weird or something, I would have been like, "Well, anyway, by the way, does it smell funny to you?" Or like say so, like, don't make this elaborate joke and don't have the balls to deliver.
Yeah. So she was like, "Okay, I'll give you another chance," and they went on a second date. So, but
that's a weird joke. So I would be, and me dating other women, I even be weirded out if I smell my perfume on a girl, because I'd be all like, it's creepy if she did it on purpose.
Yeah.
But if she did it as a joke, I still think it's creepy. A woman doing it to another woman, I think it's super creep status, like single white female type of shit. But a unisex perfume is funny. A man and a woman. That is kind of funny if he would have delivered.
Yeah, because I guess she was going on about this perfume, and he went
it's
to the
kind of
store
funny,
and
yeah.
he
It's
bought
super
it.
elaborate.
But she forgave him. I think she was kind of a bitch.
It sounds like she's a little privileged kind of cunt.
I don't know. I would have said, "Do you have my perfume on? Is that whatever the perfume was?"
Is that Chanel number?
I would have said, "Why did you do that?" And then he would have said, "Oh, it was just kind of a joke. I thought it'd be funny." In my mind, it went a lot.
It was a good fucking joke. It was too bad he didn't fucking know how to.
Well, I think he just was clueless.
He probably froze. Was she pretty? Or is this on the radio?
It's on the radio.
Oh.
It was, and I just thought I'd bring it up.
Type of thingy.
She sounded like a white chick. But you know what? They never have like two guys going on a date, or I don't think they do.
I wonder why that is, Larissa.
Or two girls.
That was a joke.
They don't believe in the homosexuals.
And on the third day, God created the rifles so we can shoot all the homosexuals. I forgot what movie that's from, but when you were telling me the story of the perfume and shit, reminded me of a story I saw on.
You saw it?
Yeah, it's a show. That's
It's not a movie.
No, it's an actual show. Middle-aged lady. Just kidding. I consider myself middle-aged. Well, you don't know. We don't know how long we're gonna live, so how dare people say middle-aged?
Yeah.
Like, let's be honest. Black people from Compton, middle-aged is probably 10.
Oh shit!
Just kidding.
No.
It's a joke.
True.
It's a joke.
Man, that just.
Oh.
I can't believe they shot that 13-year-old.
Dude, I was about to tell a funny story. Larissa always got coming.
Oh, sorry.
I know. I got the perfect fucking sound for that shit. What was that? It was like, hold on. I gotta put this fucking sound. I was like, I need a sound for when Larissa does this shit. No.
That was me this morning.
Bummer.
No, it's not bummer. Oh, man.
I've been eating beans.
That's your problem right there, homie.
Beans and avocado.
Okay.
I want to know what sound you have for me.
No boogers.
That's a good one.
What does it say?
Oh, boogers or something?
No boogers.
That sounds like Deputy Dog. That old.
Sounds like I was about to make the most magical joke ever, and Larissa, and they killed that 13-year-old.
Well, I wanted to bring up because it was a female. Yeah.
Well, I wanted to say the story of the smell,
Stole through thunder.
7 dead cat smell story.
Gross.
But maybe we can say that story another time.
Cat piss was bad. 7 dead cat.
I do want to talk about this because it is a big deal, and that shit was rough. The video, you know, it.
Wah, wah, wah.
It is, yeah.
How dare you have a sound for me? I'm so offended.
Because I always have a perfect joke and you're like, yeah, but that's when my mom died. Well, Larissa, well, your knee hurts because of blah, blah, well, maybe it's because I'm overweight and the doctor said and the... Just trying to joke, but I'll say the story real quick. See if I can do that. That's a challenge for me, real quick. So the show is like one of those judge shows, you know, but it's a doctor something, and they go. It's a transgender woman, in a heterosexual, whatever you call. He was born a man, straight man, and they come to her because homegirl lived in New York and homeboy lives in Miami. They met online, fell in love. So homeboy thought, And homegirl, the way they met, she does one of those things where she answers calls like a sex operator type of thing or something. Um, and he fell in love with her, and she's like, homie, I get it a lot. Trust me, it's my job. Like, yes. And
I'm in love with the stripper.
exactly. And she never told him.
I'm in love with the porn star.
Transgender.
I'm in love with. No.
Oh my God. You're about to say something like.
I'm in love with the transgender.
That didn't call for the thing, and I already clicked on it when Larissa was already mid melody. But no, so she never told him that she was transgender because he's a client, right? But he's all, I love you. Anyway, they develop a relationship. Well, she was like, you know what? Maybe he's true. This is the real thing, and we're in love. So she told him. So homeboy was like, yuck, bleh, never talk to me again. That happened, right? Whatever. She's all like, I knew it. A few months later, he contacts her. Hey, I am gonna get over it. Something that my masculinity, blah blah blah. I love you. I don't care, blah blah blah. So homegirl's like, all right, okay. So trying to make the story less long, they get together, and he's like, move into Miami with me. They haven't met physically yet, right? So she sells her shit in New York, moves to Miami. They meet at the airport. She goes to hug him at the airport, and she says that this stench was that of like 7 dead cats. And she's like, maybe it's the airport. So they go to the hotel, and she says the fucking scent is just still there. So she jumps in the shower because she's like, this guy fucking stinks, and it's no fucking like, oh, he has like armpits, no, like he stinks. Like she said it was like it smelled of like 7 dead cats that have been dead for a while.
Because
so
there's like a bacteria that's in your gut that exudes out of your pores.
Well, no, it's not like Jason Daly homeboy situation. So
bad breath.
So
you
anyway,
got bad breath.
Because she thought maybe he has bad breath, but then she's like, no. In the hotel, it was like worse. So she jumped in the shower so he would take a hint, and maybe you should jump in the shower too. So he did. So he comes out of the shower, and she says she was I don't know how it happened that she went under the covers with him, and when how the air comes out of the covers like that, she says she almost fainted. The smell was so bad.
Oh wow.
Anyway, again, trying to make it less long. It's a disease that homeboy has that only 1 in like several million people have it, and it's just your sweat produces this like odor that's like bad. So
like it's a bacteria.
Well, but the thing was, like, on the show, the doctor, lawyer, judge, whatever the lady is at the host of the show, the transgender was all like, listen, he wouldn't accept because the judge lady was all like, he accepted you, after you confessed that you didn't tell him you were transgender, blah blah blah, and he accepted you, and you can't accept like a little bad smell, and the transgender lady was all like, I brought you some of his underwear because the odor mainly comes from the armpits, the genitals, and the mouth. That's where the odor mainly develops. So she's like, I brought you his underwear. So she brought it in 3 Ziploc bags in a box.
Oh
and
God.
Then once she got to the place, they put it in an evidence box. So it was in 3 Ziploc bags in 2 boxes.
Oh my God.
When the lawyer lady opens the first evidence box, she just goes back and she's like, oh, no, that's enough. Close it.
Oh
So she hadn't even gotten into the box in 3 Ziploc bags. She just barely opened the evidence box, and she's like, I can't. Yes. So what she was fighting, the lady, she was fighting that she sold all her shit, and now she's stranded because she's not gonna move in with him because he stinks, and literally, and she doesn't have anything to go back to New York. So she was asking like, hey, he owes me some money. So anyway, when the judge lady does that, she's like, okay, yep, because this whole time she was on homeboy side, like, oh, so love is not enough. Oh, you don't understand. The smell is more than love can handle. No, love is enough. Blah, blah. But when she opened that shit of that underwear, she was like, nope, you're totally right. You owe her some money, and case closed. And I'm really sorry for you because there's no cure. And it's mainly So the person that my friend that showed me this fucking show and this whole thing, she's like, I gotta show you the show about the 7 dead cat smell. I'm like, what? And it's in Spanish. So I don't know, like el olor de los 7 gatos muertos or some shit like that. But anyway, so she's like, she said, there's no cure for it. So the judge is like, I'm sorry, dude. Like, you have to give her something, because the way that she told you I'm transgender before you all met, you should have been like, dude, I have a disease. It's a condition. Boom.
It seems like that could be cured through diet or something.
No, so me and my homie looked it up because we were obsessed with it, because we were like, this is crazy. So we were looking it up. There is no cure for it, and it mainly happens to women, bro. That shit sucks. Can you imagine your pussy produces like this odor that people think you probably like sleep around or some shit? Like your pussy's like the fucking
like
aquarium
you clean your
and shit.
Dirty vagina with another dirty vagina.
And some like 7 dirty ass dicks with some dick cheese.
No! Don't talk about the dick cheese. That's just wrong.
No!
Dick cheese?
Dick cheese must be the worst. I have never experienced that. I've experienced ear cheese,
Imitating
belly button cheese, but not dick cheese.
I mean, I've stuck my finger in my belly button and it smells like ass. I mean, but you just take a shower.
It's like, why do you keep smelling if it smells bad? Ugh, I need a shower.
Yeah, that's if my belly button's that bad. I was like, I need to shower and get some soap up in that mug.
One time, when I discovered that shit gets in there, I became so obsessed with it that I heard it. I was like over cleaning it,
One time I smelled that smell when I was younger, and I put alcohol in my belly button, and it started burning, and it created a rash.
Oh,
because I was like, just clean it with soap and
Oh,
water.
my God.
I have a really deep belly button.
Oh.
That's what she said. That's what she said.
What was that?
That's what she said.
Uh-oh.
Ooh, you bash.
My
You
belly
bash.
button is deep. Maybe it's because I have all this extra.
What she said. That's what she said. That's what she said.
My belly button don't. My belly button don't. My belly button don't want none unless you. Some sick belly button business stuff.
Oh, that could be a fetish.
I'm sure it is, bro.
Like for those guys with the micro dicks.
Oh,
Go in my-
you in the belly button.
They could just.
But the girl won't feel shit. I told you about the story with a homegirl that was with the micro dick dude. That's great. I asked her, would you had ended up with him?
Like,
And
he could
she's like,
fit in
if
my
he was
belly
there?
button.
I told you about that. Remember Real Sex 55
Maybe
or whatever
if he
it's
was
called?
like stimulating my clitoris.
Remember I told you that cartoon on Real Sex I saw of the little tiny, this guy became like super small, and then this giant woman found him and shoved it in her pussy, and he was all like, he was grabbing onto her clit like it was like the bell of like, like those big fucking bells, like he's all trying to like grab the big old clit, and the girl's all like, oh, she's walking around like with the little homeboy like, with the clit and shit. It was like there was that green giant,
The jolly.
the jolly green giant, but it was like the jolly shallow pussy giant or something. Hey, I don't know if you hear
Don't hate.
my neighbor. I have an update on the chronicles of my neighbor. She still sucks, but I've discovered that a lot of people enable her, and I had an idea.
Uh-oh.
She just seems like an idiot, like a little idiot that doesn't know about life or whatever. Her mom came by the other day. Her mom's super fucking cool, but she was just venting. I was out there drinking a beer, and she was venting and about how homegirl finds pets, and because she can't keep him here, takes him to her mom. So now her mom has like 6 dogs,
Oh my god.
and homegirl has 2 cats, and it's weird. Like, it's always weird to me, like a person like that thinks that you're like being good to the world or to the environment or to the animals. Bitch, you can't even fucking take out the trash. Why do you think you're saving dogs and shit, taking them to your mother? So your poor mom, her poor mom's all like, I work with children, I take care of my mother, she's elderly and she's sick, and I have these 6 dogs, and I have to
Oh
come
my
in.
gosh.
And she was coming in, taking her laundry to wash it. I'm like, talk about enabling, bro. And she came out, when she came back out, she's like, I'm sorry about venting. And I'm like, nah, it's part of your mental wellness and shit. But,
Wow.
but yeah, I'm like, y'all are enabling. Now my landlord comes in and takes out her trash and puts it back in and shit. I'm like, you guys are enablers.
What?
And I tell you, like, the fucking fights, if they don't stop fighting at like 3 in the morning, bro, you know how much I would hate to call the cops, but something's gonna happen, bro. I am so sick and tired of, why do they have to? Bro, so one day they fight like at 3 in the morning, stomping because they're super dramatic. I told you how they go. So super dramatic, super loud, banging doors, stomping on the floor, storming out, coming back in. So they have a fight, right? The next day, her girlfriend leaves. After like work day or whatever, they come back in different vehicles, and I'm like, why are you together right now? You just had an awful fucking fight last night. Like, we all need a break right now. And they go in, like, I just see them in the camera. They're all walking on quietly, one behind the other. They come in, 5 minutes, the fight starts. Why do you got what? They don't live together, bro. Why did the other one come in to fight? This is how idiotic they are.
It's like they're a glutton for punishment.
And if go fight somewhere else and then go home and sleep good.
Yeah.
Now you gotta fucking disturb your own sleep and my own and my cats.
That's
some bullshit,
that's
bro.
bullshit.
But that's what's going on. Yeah. And first I felt bad for the mom. I'm like, well, you're enabling her. You get like over here doing her laundry and accepting those pets. You over here like changing her tire.
Just say no.
Just say no, bro. I was about to rat her out and be like, well, her little girlfriend was here the other day. And I got in a fight. I have it on tape.
And I can hear them.
Yeah. Bro, I don't want to. We talked about this. I feel like they need guidance, and I feel bad. They're like, her mom seemed like a really chill lady that it's not like she doesn't have it. So
that's
if she's
so
not
funny.
All right, bro.
So we should do this.
Game, yeah. Hey, I just have one question. Do you know what neuroplasticity is? Neuroplasticity.
Your neurons are more enduring. I don't know.
Let's see. Neuroplasticity. Because I have it on the notes and I have no idea what it is. Neuroplasticity, also known as neuroplasticity. Okay. They just separated the words. Or brain plasticity is the ability of neural networks in the brain to change through growth and reorganization. These changes range from individual neuron pathways making new connections to systematic adjustments like cortical remapping. Okay, so I wrote on the notes, neuroplasticity we're trying to get a hold of. What the fuck does that mean?
Because
what was I trying to talk about?
I've heard about that with my brother. He was quadriplegic, and they talked a lot about spinal regeneration through like stem cells, like different this is controversial, but fetus that that maybe a fetus, like the neurons to regenerate, like if someone lost their ability to walk because of spinal injury. But I know that when little kids are learning language or whatever, there's like it's really easy for kids to learn language if they're typically developing, because the neurons are like fresh and they attach and they're sponges, so they pick up information.
So probably then what I was trying to say was that we're trying to hold on to information and all those connections that we made in our brain, and I don't know, maybe I was depressed or suicidal that night, bro.
And that's why it's important to, like, when little kids, you talk to them. Have you ever seen that video with, he's a comedian, his name's Michael, I forgot his last name, but there's a video of him talking to his daughter when she was first born, and she was crying, and he came into the...
Yeah, where now his voice is the calm.
Yeah,
You know,
and
like
he calmed her down, because he said her name was Portland, and he's like, it's okay, I'm here, I love you, and she stops crying. And then another time where she's like getting her diaper changed, and she's crying, and he comes and says, it's okay, I'm here, and she turns her, this is like an infant, like a day old infant, like just born, and his voice, she turns her head and opens her eyes to his voice and says, it's me, your dad, you know, I love you, and then she stops and she listens and she calms down just by his voice, which is I think, and when little babies, like their neurons are like fresh, like right out the oven, you know. So I know about neurons and how they make a pathway, but as far as like, is that in adults or just the research, or
I don't know, bro. I was just asking you because I wrote, you know, I'm like Jerry Seinfeld. I think about something in the middle of the night and I write it down and shit, and then I'm like, I don't know what I was trying to tell Maurice.
I do that. I take notes to myself and I'm like, what the hell was I trying to say?
Like I come up with the perfect song, like a hook, and then the next day I'm like, fuck, I was gonna be famous, and I'm forgotten and shit. But I'll say this, since it's in the middle of the podcast and shit. I went on my brother's Spotify account, and he has this song. You know, he mixes music, and I feel like I created the perfect lyrics for it. I created the perfect song, but it's only in my head because, you know, it won't be perfect to him.
It's only in your head.
But yeah, but I was like, I made a song. It's like, you know how people steal other people's music and they remix their own lyrics?
The beats.
So I stole my brother's song and I made my own lyrics to it. But anyway,
I hope he's not listening. Stole my shit.
Hey, don't put it on Spotify. Anyway, we don't know what's happening with this, so bear with us. Like Larissa said, how much longer till we clock out? This is actually our business, so we can clock out whenever the fuck we want.
That's fucking right. Because we're business. We're business women's.
We're business women's. We're entrepreneurs. They keep sending me emails from Soundcloud and all these places about like monetizing what, bitch? Nobody pays us or gives a shit.
We need monetizing some shit.
Did you know you can monetize your account?
My ass.
Did you know nobody pays?
My big ass. Kiss my big ass and monetize this, bitch.
Monetize this.
Boom. You got my Foompa?
Hey.
You got my veg.
Hey.
You got my thigh.
Hey.
You got my calves.
Oh.
You got my big old ass.
Ooh.
Big old ass.
Hey, hey. Oh, yeah.
Yeehaw. I got a big old ass. Louisa got a big old ass.
Hey.
That's what she
got a big
said.
old ass.
Yeah.
Peaches got a big old
I wish.
mouth.
An ego.
We
And
won't-
also, don't forget that there's kids out there that don't have anything to eat.
Shut up. F you, bitches.
There's some people out there that can't even get a vaccine. Just kidding. I am 50 for peaches.
I'm Larizzi. Bitch. Bitch ass bitch.
We're the Bodega cats. Damn it.
Bodega. Ass. And I got a big old ass.
Bimbuso yo bish.
Bean boozle. You should